What we have here is Mike's Chem 130 Canvas page. So to get an idea of just kind of navigating it and finding it around. So when you sign in, what you should see is exactly this with all the text. You should see the to-do list and coming up and all that kind of fun stuff. You've got the play pause it instructions, so you should go through, minimally do that for the lecture. So go to play pause it, generate your account, get that registered, and then look for this Chem 130 McFarlane Sp17, and that should get you enrolled. Right now there should be a bunch of videos in there. If you want, you can go through and start watching them right away. You might see a new video come in that'll be due sometime next week, but that could be a stretch. The first one that's due, I think, is sometime in February on Lewis structures, which is a long one. For lab, because lecture and lab don't tie very well, and I've screwed that up even further, I've made some pre-lab videos as well. So if you would like to do so, you can go through and kind of register within those. If you do a search for the Chem 130 LL, you should be okay. If your instructor hasn't talked about it at all, it does not matter what you sign up for. The one instructor that might have told you to sign up for something would be Mrs. Tapati Sen. If she hasn't told you about it, then don't worry about it. You can sign in to Sen or Open Access. I would like you to at least sign in so that I can get a record to see how you guys are doing with it, if you've got questions and that kind of fun stuff. You should see a bunch of videos in there already. After that, we've got the course structure. So we've got announcements, what you'll see there, assignments, all that kind of fun stuff. This video will actually link up shortly in the announcements section, as soon as I'm done recording it, that is. After that, the discussions might be useful to look at, probably not. Grades you'll probably look at fairly frequently, but again, not a big deal at this point. Pages I wouldn't worry about, you'll see it there. The big one is going to be files. This is where I kind of organize everything. The two biggest folders you'll be looking at will be lectures and old exams. I did just create a helpful files that has some other kind of random stuff in it. There's also the syllabus that links out to syllabus files, and you would find those in the files link too. Quizzes, there's really only one quiz for this semester, and that's going to be the syllabus quiz. I conveniently set it up as a link, so all you have to do is click that, hopefully, and if you click that, it should actually take you to the syllabus quiz. After that, in the modules, I will have the modules up to date here in however long it takes for the YouTube video to upload. So once that's done, I should be able to go through and get that set up. Okay? So let's take a look at assignments, because there are some questions about how to register for them. So when you go into assignments, this is what you should see. You'll have this section that says overdue assignments, and notice there's only two, because there were reading assignments for every day. So you've got those two reading assignments that are overdue, and upcoming, it just lists everything. Right? That's not super helpful. You'd have to look at the dates to realize what is coming up and what isn't coming up. So let's scroll up a little bit. So for due next week, we have the reading assignments that are going to be due. You're going to be choosing a topic, so I'm going to bring in a list of elements and topics. I'll try and email that out or post that to the helpful files later today, so you can at least get an idea of maybe some of the other topics that are possible. And the problem solves are also due next week, Friday. Okay, so those are all things that are due next week, so things you need to be worrying about and thinking about now. Things that are overdue would be the reading assignments. Okay, so if you go to assignments, it should kind of help you sort your way through it. So let's take a look at reading assignment 1.2. So it's an old one, not a big deal, we can look at it and you can still enter it in. So this is what you should see. Okay, we've got the general directions given in the middle about what I expect you to have read. Notice in two different formats, in the page format versus the chapter section reference. Hopefully the chapter section reference will become useful if I can get a free online version of our textbook ready to run. But that's looking further and further away. The next big part is that there's a submit assignment button up here. Okay, so what you will need to do is click that submit assignment button after you've done the reading. Okay, and what you'll see open up down at the bottom of the page then would be this file upload window. Okay, so if you've been typing up notes, this is where you would then click browse, check out your computer wherever you've saved the file, or put it in, and then click submit assignment. Okay, if you aren't typing up notes, that's fine, you don't need to. What you can do is then click text entry, and all text entry does is open up a text entry spot. So for the reading, you could say that, today's reading, I don't have a keyboard to type with, maybe I do, yeah I do. Today's reading was about matter. What's the matter with you? That's probably not something you should be putting in there. But you could say homogeneous. I'm spelling it wrong probably. Homogeneous was one phase, and heterogeneous was many phases. Okay, so what you're trying to do is prove that you read. That's it. Okay, so don't get in really extensive with this. Ideally, complete sentences. If you got to use definitions, you got to use definitions. That's fine. And then once you're done with that, all you'd have to do is click Submit Assignment. And since I don't know what it does, let's go ahead and see what it does. And it submits. Oh, and we get a note that the assignment was successfully submitted up at the top, and that's the end of it. If you wanted to, you could resubmit the assignment later. Not a big deal. Notice that it is saying that it is late. For the reading assignments, do not worry about late. Not a big deal. Okay? Hopefully that clarifies how to submit an assignment online via Canvas. If you want other videos like this describing some other feature within Canvas or something else, let me know and I'll see what I can do. And with that, thanks for listening.